Hey guys, so we are here with Bradley. Recently, we had talk in conversations with Dimi, and it was great. And we have a short chat from every week with him and talking about coaching and stuff. And we just said, okay, why not do that just with in life, like with people? That would be really even more fun,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
So that's why we said, okay, let's do it, and we just put a date, put a time, and done it, right? I love this type of action, immediate action ideas after we just talk about something. So,
Mm.
Bradley, as we spoken with you, what we're gonna do, just before we start, still no
hmm
one is live, but if when people come, uh, if you want to ask some questions and stuff, just do that. I'm gonna see the questions and we're gonna answer them live with Bradley. If you can't live, we can just do it in the comments afterwards. So sorry, I'm gonna say
Yeah.
that again, but just
Mm.
people know. Um, Bradley, we're talking with you that both of you, both of us, we believe that coaching is really amazing, amazing approach in life. But we don't think that people know enough about it, right? Understand it
Mm.
fully sometimes. And one of the intentions for me today is to really create more awareness around that, more clarity around what is coaching and how it actually
Mm.
can help people. What is your intention for today?
Yeah, I'm on the same page, Timmy. I think
Yeah.
it's a wonderful if I can actually stay in the shot here. It's no, it's a beautiful conversation. We talk about it often, and it's one of those. It's very ambiguous. People are not sure what it is, but because we have coaches of our own, and because we are coaches, we get it, and we know the power of coaching. Powerful coaching is just one of those things that it's really your secret weapon to really getting where you need to go. Like really, really getting where you need. And we'll talk about that because
Mm.
we show up so powerfully for our clients, and when they show up equally as powerful, you create magic. It really is unlike anything that you will ever experience because the client, the person that is getting coached,
Yeah.
is in the driver's seat. That's the key.
Yes.
It's like it's their journey. It's not. Don't come to us for advice. Don't come to us
Uh,
for. Just come for conversation so we can really together co-create what is keeping you stuck, so that you can expose it, become aware, and then move forward. I mean, but it really happens in the conversation. So I guess to answer your
mhm.
question, you know, you really need to experience it. And there's nothing to be afraid of. It is a magical, beautiful experience.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna speak around about that. I just wanted to give some
Mm,
quick description around coaching and my idea around that. And if you want, you can add on that, and or maybe you just share something completely different. But
100%. Yeah.
when I started coaching, honestly, I didn't know exactly what is coaching. Even though I
hmm
finished my coaching school, at the end, I'm not sure that I knew what is coaching, honestly. And not because the school was bad, the school was amazing. I think one of the best schools in the world. But just as you said, I needed time to be in coaching, to stay in conversations, to truly embody that inside of
hmm
me. And what I'm going to share is this experience I have 10 years of extensive coaching on myself with other people. And I think for me, it came just like that. I didn't think a lot about it. It's like, for me, that's growth oriented conversation with the intention to create beyond reasonable results.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Beautiful.
that's that's exactly what came to me, man.
Mm,
Right?
mm, yeah.
So just I'm gonna put the two parts, explain, and I'm gonna give the word to you. But for me, it's a growth-oriented conversation. It's not a normal conversation. It's not a
No.
conversation with a friend. This
No.
conversation is growth-oriented. You come
Mm,
here, work with us in order to grow. You know that this is your intention. And you're not coming here to have reasonable results. You can get reasonable results going out there and just do your stuff. You're gonna get these
mm,
results. You go
mm,
beyond that here. You just
hmm
want to do something beyond reasonable. And that's the beauty of coaching. That's my
Yeah.
my get on that. Yeah.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
it. That's beautiful. Yeah. Or and otherwise we also call it the edge. It's really moving to your edge. What is what is what is making you petrified? What is keeping you so scared that no, can't do it, can't do it. Don't want to feel that. Don't want to go there. A coaching relationship embraces that and allows you to create what is otherwise, as you say, unreasonable. I love that, Dimi, because that's really what it is. And one other thing I want to just touch on, which is so
Mm,
important, is that this is completely different than any relationship you'll ever be in your life.
mm,
A coach is not, and I say this, so people listening, I hope they can hear me when I say this. We're not there to be your friend,
no.
right? We're not. We're there to love you, and you will be loved unlike you've ever been loved before. Really, that is so powerful. But we're there to call the elephant out in the room, to see the elephant and to say, okay, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
To really listen to what's being said, but also see what's behind that you otherwise are missing, that's lost in your language. That's the
Mm,
growth part. Those are the things that we do as coaches. I mean, I've been coaching for so many years myself, and one of the things, like, it's funny, you go and you get your credentials and you study and you learn how to do it, but you really don't learn how to coach until you start coaching.
yes.
And then as you continue to do that, you really become an expert listener. And it's not like we're special, anyone can do
No.
it. It's just the reps and the practice of really listening to what's being said with no expectations and with no preconceived notion, okay, this is what we're
No.
going to do, right? It's so deep. But one of the key things to really realize is that it's not a friendly conversation. It is. It's beautiful. I mean, every conversation I'm in, I don't know about you, but with my clients, I
Mm,
leave feeling completely energized, and I'm just like, people are. Is that really how is coaching? Do you find it really draining? I was like, no, I find it completely energizing.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so beautiful when you can love someone so much and see them attain what was otherwise unreasonable results for them. Like you say, it's just so powerful. I love that you shared that. That really lit me up when you said that, because that's so beautiful. It really is. It's dead
It
on.
is. It is, and
Yeah.
I just wanted to give now. I think it's a good moment to share with everyone some of these misconceptions about coaching psychotherapy. There are several things which people believe
Yeah.
that coaching is like. So just before that, I wanted to share we don't our opinion is not the opinion of the world. This is just what we say here, and uh, also that I have respect, you have respect, we have respect for every profession in the world. I'm sure that
Hmm.
everyone can benefit from everything, but it's good idea to know the difference between things. So there are several things. You said you mentioned the friend part. So some people see that I have heard people say, I have friends, why do I need to come and talk to you? What's the reason for that? And then psychotherapist, consultant, and mentor. That are the three other things which I heard that they connect with coaching. And people don't know. I mean, recently I had a conversation with several potential clients, and I think two or three of them said they believe that still believe that coaching is like mentorship, for example. So here a
Mm.
mentor, you're going there telling people your experience and stuff and helping them in order based on your
Mm.
experience to get things in life. I just want to give my how to say my way of my way of distinguishing between that. I use that metaphor with my clients every time when we start coaching relationship, and then of course, Brad, you can share yours.
Hmm.
For me, our potential, I compare it with we have a bike. You have a bike and you want to really ride it really well, and you want to know where you need to go based on the problems you have on the bike. For example, if you have your bike has some kind of broken spares, or maybe the tires are broken, whatever is broken in this child, you go to the psychotherapist and he's going to help you to really fix that. You need fixing there. If, for example, your bike, you want to go to somewhere who has some experience with bikes in general, you go to a consultant. You have someone who has a lot of bikes, you go there and you learn more about bikes in general. If you want to go to someone who has similar bike as yours, you go to the mentor, because the mentor has 30 years experience with riding similar bike as yours. So you can just go and ask questions, and the mentor is going to share with you his experience or her experience. But if you want to go to the next level of really using the best way your bike, you go to the coach, because the coach is going to help you to find that in yourself. And that's the biggest difference which I see with all these other places, because coach, the main purpose of us is to help the person find this empowerment inside.
Mm-hmm.
We believe that I believe, you believe, every one of us, we believe that the person knows the answers, and just sometimes is afraid to hear it, maybe focusing on negatives in life, focusing on weak sides of himself or herself, or just maybe living a life of a victim and doesn't want to go and try to do something different. But the coach, recently I had a great conversation with a new client, and I was saying, man, I want to tell you that I see you, because he said that I want to achieve that, I want to achieve that, I want to achieve that. I see you as that, man. We've spoken many times with Bradley. I see you. You're already that for me. I'm gonna keep you on that standards every time you come here. That's it. You know that. I see this version of you, and I am all the time there with. When I see you, I see this version. If you do something else, you're lying to me. This is not you. And I'm gonna point out that to you. And that's the beauty of the coach. We know this powerful side of every human being, and we want, and our purpose and our mission is to keep this person on that standard. Not because we want to beat them up or something like that, but just because we want for them to stay there, because this is gonna bring the whole beauty they're looking in their life. So that's what I see as a coach, and that's what I couldn't understand at the beginning. I couldn't understand that this is my mission as a coach, to keep these people on that standard, because this is healthy for them, because this is the best for them. Even though sometimes these people maybe get angry at me, they don't like me, they believe that I am this or that, but I know that this is the best for them, because this is the love. You said, I love them. You don't love them because they're going to like you because of that, but you love them because you want the best for them, right?
Yeah, you love them because they're divinity.
Yeah.
You love them because they are beautiful, powerful human beings. I love that share, Dimi. That's so. I do love that. It's so important. There's so much to unpack there that you just brought out. I just want to just a second to just really feel into that, because what I really love is how you're creating your clients and how we create our clients. It's really, there's a distinction that's really important that we're doing it regardless. If we know it or not, is that we create what everybody is. So for you and I, for example, nothing exists other than what I think of you and what you think of me. Like, really, if you think about it, nothing else exists. And you cannot control really how I create you. And I cannot control how you create me. We control how we create ourselves. And so really, coaching is as coaches, we embody that. I know you and I do. We don't want to say all coaches do that.
Yeah.
Because coaching is it's become such a thing, and it's right across the board. And you have people that are new coaches that have their notes, and they're following the questions and doing all the stuff that they were taught. And then you have coaches like our mentor, Steve Hardison, who's been coaching, for forever, and you're not even allowed to take notes in his class. So, there are different levels, Steve Chandler and Litvin and all of those amazing coaches. So it's quite a journey on the coaching line, if you will.
Yeah.
But for you and I, will speak that, because I know we speak often and we love each other so much, that it really starts with who we are and how we're creating who we are speaking to. So our clients, we create them so powerfully. And the power in that is that it allows them to see parts of themselves that have been hidden for years. It's those stories that are invented when we're just little tiny people, and we're looking around and going, oh, okay. So you're shy. You're shy. You're shy. Oh, okay. I'm shy. So I have this belief that I'm shy, and that gets buried really, really deeply. And I love to use the analogy of an iceberg in that, like, we have our consciousness and our subconscious mind, and our consciousness, it's like the tip of the iceberg. It's what we see all day long. It's what's running our lives. We think, but actually are those hidden beliefs. I'm not worthy. I'm not lovable. I'm stupid. I'm an overweight person. I whatever. I'm lazy. All of these beliefs that we have garnered in our youth, they go down below. That's the deep part of the iceberg. If you go down in the water, it's like so. And if you go down and you look at that, it gets buried in there so much you can't see it. But that's what's running our lives. And as coaches, we are able to see that. So you can go under, put your scuba gear on, you can go underneath the water, and you can start touching these things where they were otherwise, they weren't accessible. You can start touching them and touching them. And when you touch them, they start to move around. And then we can see, oh, and then we can see, oh, pull it into the present. So that's why I put everyone above me in my business, because when I was a child, I used to get 100% on every test. And then I purposely tried to fail because I didn't want to be in the spotlight because people made fun of me. And you're doing that in your business now. Okay, you're afraid of the spot. So these are things that are completely hidden, that through our conversation, through loving our clients, and I mean loving it. I mean, we got to be really careful about the friend stuff, because that's a loaded word in the English language. But I want to be very clear that as a coach, it's bigger than friendship. It's love, it's bigger than that. It's unlike anything you will ever experience. And I would love to get into at some point, if we have time today, how the whole conversation would work. And we know that some people are, a little trepidatious to say, oh, I don't really want to do that. I'm not ready for that. That's too big of a commitment. All of these things, right? So if we have time, I would love to touch on that.
Just go for that.
Yeah,
go for that.
Because at the end of the day, like, it's so funny, because many coaches I know will offer, like a free consultation session just to experience it. And I've done it as well. And I continue to do it because I really believe it's one of those experiences. It's like an experience. It's like when we're talking about being, like, who are we being? It's really hard to explain that because it's a state. It's a state. Like right now, I'm being love. I'm being available. That's it. That's who I'm being right now. But it's really hard to explain that. And so to explain, likewise, a conversation in a coaching relationship, it's really hard to explain it. We can do the best we can. And some people are doing amazing jobs articulating it, in their writing and some videos. But at the end of the day, you really need to experience it, because all of my clients that I have currently and clients that I've had in the past, people say, well, what's it like, working with Bradley? And they'll say, well, this is what it's like for me. And they'll ask me, well, what's it like working with X, Y, and Z? And I say, well, it's completely different. It literally is completely different, because we have two individuals like you and I. We co-create things that cannot be co-created in any other situation. You just can't. And it's the same with our, so to be fearful of stepping into that, I understand that. I can see why people are, but that's the reason you need to get in the conversation.
Yes.
What is the fear? Okay. So where's the courageousness? Let's uncover that, because once you have that, then you have clarity, then you have commitment, and boom, the unreasonable, like one of our other mentors says, your ceiling then becomes your floor, right? So what your ceiling is like, oh, I wish I could only be this. If I was the vice president, or if I was the principal of the school, or whatever, it's like, okay, but it seems it's up here. But through the coaching relationship, then all of a sudden you're like, I'm the principal. Okay, boom. That's your new floor. Okay, now I want to be the superintendent of the school board, or now I'm the CEO, right? Okay, and when your ceiling becomes your floor, like, where else do you talk about those things but in a coaching relationship? We're talking about psychotherapy. We're talking about therapy, social work. That's all beautiful stuff. It's really, really important. But, and let me rephrase that.
Yeah.
And coaching is something that puts you in the driver's seat. So like you shared earlier, there are so many people that want to be fixed. Fix me, fix me, give me some medication, tell me what to do. I mean, that happens a lot. Tell me what to do, Bradley, and I'll do it. No, that's not how it works in a coaching relationship.
No.
You are the one that you're going to uncover the power you already have. It's already in you. It's so powerful. So you go to a therapist, fix me, tell me to do this, tell me to do this, tell me what I need to do. No, no, no. That's not how it works. You discover what you need to do for you. That's what makes it so individual. And that's what makes coaching so, so powerful. You become accountable to yourself, right? Like when we have our clients come in, you know, instead of an expectation of this is what it's going to be, you know, I always say these are clear agreements. This is the commitment that we're making to each other. You will never, ever find someone more committed to you than me. And I know you're exactly the same. I'm 100% committed.
Absolutely.
And I want nothing from you. I want nothing from you. I want your growth. That's it. That's my commitment to you and your commitment to yourself. Commitment is the key. So when you are on time for your appointment, when we're for our call, that's your commitment to you. If you're late, that's got nothing to do with me. I'm here 100%. That means you're not committed to yourself. So let's talk about that, because commitment will move the world.
I wanted to ask you here, because you talk about commitment, and we know both of us that the money commitment is part of the big commitment you're doing for that. I think that's a good question, because a lot of people, for example, when I talk about coaching, and we come to the moment when we talk about the fee, and then of course different people see the fee different way. I love Steve Chandler. Yesterday he sent me an email. His email with this, and he was sending client tell me, you know, your coaching is very expensive. It looks very expensive. And he was answering, yes, for some people it looks expensive. For other people it's not expensive at all. It depends what you're getting out of it. That's what he said to the person. It depends what you are getting out of it. So for some people it's overpriced. For some people it's underpriced. And tell me, Bradley, okay, I share for me, money commitment, because for a lot of people in the world, money is, let's say, one of the most valuable things they have. I mean, that's the reality in the world. Even though a lot of people say money is not important, for everyone in some way, money is important when it comes to the Western world. And when you put commitment of money to something, this means that this is something valuable for you. That's what I see in the world. And I totally believe that by committing a certain amount of money, which even feels stretching to you, creates really considerably bigger commitment in yourself in order to be really present with the work. That's how I see it. Definitely 100%. I've been working with people for no money, and with people where they pay 1/3 or 1/4 of their income per month, and you cannot compare these two. No, how they are committed to that. Okay, give me your opinion. Why do you think money creates so big commitment for people?
Well, it's beautiful because it's all bullshit. Excuse my language, but it's a made up story, you know. And you know, I'll raise my hand. I mean, I used to think that way as well. I mean, we're brought up in society that okay, money is this. We need money for this. We need money for this. But money is just energy, and money is what you make it. Just like we create each other, we create what does that mean? What does that mean? And so money in terms of committing to yourself, and what I love to say, investing in yourself. Like if you want to invest your money, okay, let's put it in the stock market, right? Let's put it into real estate and let it grow. Great. Let's invest in yourself. When you invest in yourself, then you start to move mountains, right? And like I love to say, you know, then we're on a mountain with no top. We just keep going. Like there's no limit to where you can go. But money is always that sort of, what's, you know, we don't understand. I think a lot of it is they don't understand the value that they will receive.
Yes.
To commit that money.
So people, to share here, people are ready to invest thousands, even millions of dollars or whatever
Absolutely.
currency you have, in getting 5 to maybe 5 or max 10% return of investment from everything they're doing. Like for example, in the stock market somewhere, whatever, they're ready to do that and commit this money for that, because in their head they can get 5%, and they cannot imagine that if you put that, not that money, because you're gonna put maybe 1/10 or maybe 1/100 of that in coaching relationship. You can get a return of investment which is not 5, man, maybe not 10, but you can get hundreds of percentage. And I've seen that for people. And when I say that, it's not only about money here, how much money I'm gonna get from putting this money in the coaching relationship, but how much you're gonna get in general for your well-being. How you're gonna get, and for example, I talk to people, say, okay, you don't have a girlfriend now. In 6 months, when we commit this money, and this time, in this relationship, you're gonna have a girlfriend and maybe a wife. How much is that? How much
What's
is
that
that?
worth? What's the value?
Yeah. How much is that? Tell me. And most people say it's not valuable. It's invaluable. It's priceless.
That's the thing. It's like, it's so interesting. I love that. And the money is such a beautiful energy to step into, to really create that though. So which is beautiful is that most people will have that sort of, oh, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. That's the key though. That's the key. Like, let's be very clear here. We're having this call. We're putting this live because we are so passionate about coaching, and we've seen results that have, blown our minds and blown the minds of our clients, right? I'm not selling anything here. Our motivation for doing this call is to just let people know what it is. And if you feel it's something you want to step into or explore, then that's beautiful. And if not, then that's beautiful too. And so this is another part of the conversation that continues to come up all of the time. It's like, okay, so if I want a Mercedes, what does a Mercedes cost? Okay, so it's 80 grand for a Mercedes, right? No problem. No problem. Here's 80 grand. I have a car, and in 5 years, you're going to need another one because it's going to rust out, at least if you live in my world here in Canada, and so you're going to need another 80 grand. Okay, great. So no problem there. They don't think about it. It's like, okay, maybe that's a bit more. Okay, I'll cheap out a little bit, and maybe I'll get a Hyundai or whatever. Okay, fine. So, but people don't think about that. Putting their children in university, don't think about that. That's their education. They're investing in them. They're investing in their mode of transportation. But okay, where are you in your life? Are you happy? Do you love your wife? Are you showing up 100% for your children? But more importantly, are you showing up 100% for yourself? Do you wake up in the morning and feel, you look in the mirror and you go, I'm strong, I'm fit. I love myself. No, do you feel that? Would you love to feel that?
Yes.
What is that worth to you? How much is that worth to you?
And
to get up in the morning, and then all of a sudden your entire world is completely changed because you look at your wife that you've been married to for 25 years and you are still madly in love with her because now you know how to create that. You have a crazy, amazing relationship with your children. You look at people in the grocery store and you're helping people, and you're living a life of your dreams. And let's talk about the other stuff. You've 10x or 100x your business. You're living, in Costa Rica on a beach where you want to live. You go on vacations all year because you built it from the inside out. You invested in yourself. What is that worth? What's that worth? 10 grand, 100 grand? What's it worth? But when you say, I don't have the money, okay, let's talk about that. Let's move that energy around so that ceiling becomes your floor. So when you say, I invested $10,000 to work with Dimi, wow, that was a lot of money then. And that was it. I was completely committed because I was like, holy shit, talk about doing the unreasonable and stepping into your edge. And now that person is now worth $500,000. or $1 million. His company is now worth $50 billion, whatever, right? Because now he shows up. And not only that, he has that money, but he has it in here because he's learned to do that in the coaching relationship. And he's learned to step into that. Okay, I have a disposable income of, let's just say what's his average, like $75,000 a month. Okay, great. Who are you being in that moment? I'm being loved. I love myself, and I have all this money, right?
Yeah.
What's
I
that
just
worth?
I just
Sorry,
want
I
no,
get
no,
really
no.
excited about it.
That's
Yeah, but it's so
that's
true.
it is exciting, and definitely I just so excited to talk about, there is this uh, thinking of people, and I've seen that several clients also say that I need to find time for my personal growth in order to get a coach. That's also I
Mm,
hear a lot. When I talk to people, it's like, it's not exactly now time. I'm so busy. I have this, I have that, and I can't put the time and effort because I need to be committed to that. So all of this, thinking, and in my head, people think that, okay, personal growth is something separate than anything else in your life. So in some way, some people see it like that.
mm,
Uh, and
mhm.
and 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 I, of course, here I think it's a good idea to talk about the big part, because that's one of the, not the one of the, is the most important theme we are talking with you always, when it comes to being, because people say, literally say, even know this word, the being is separate than the doing. The being is separate than my achievements in my business, in my intimate
Mhm.
relationship, everywhere. I think that's subconsciously they say. Consciously they say personal growth there. If I find time when I'm not too busy, then I'm gonna be there. So what I'm saying here is, guys, first of all, in my opinion, uh, the being part is, it's everywhere. Everything is a being in a way, not in a
Yes.
way. It's a being, and once you learn how to navigate that, allows you to learn how to connect to that. Once you learn that and deeply believe that this is actually you,
Mm,
then everything else in life is gonna follow. Because
mm.
when you stop
Yeah,
separating this and start working on
you
that,
can't.
yeah,
Yes, I
yeah,
love that.
Bradley,
And I
yeah.
heard that said, and forgive me, I can't remember this beautiful man's name, but he did a talk on that, and he said something that really resonated with me, and it's really beautifully said. I'll put it in the notes afterwards. But he said, you can never outdo your being.
Yeah.
And that is, and so what is being though? It's who we are right now. Who are you right now? Who are we being is such it's everything. It's really like the greatest breakthrough for the human being. It's not the human doing. So everyone tries to do that. I need to do this. Like even if we were like that, we're going to do alive. But before we do it, we need to really hone in on who we're being. And it's not something that it's not something that you just say, okay, this is who I am, and you get a book of affirmations and this is who I am, or you make up some bullshit story. No, it's created from deeper work that we do in our practice, where you create who you are being, who you are truly being in every moment, because you're doing it whether we know it or not. So if you're being angry, guess what your doing is going to be?
Yeah.
It's going to be angry. If you plant, like Steve says, if you're going to plant an angry tree, an angry seed, you're going to get what? You're not going to get a happy tree. You're going to get an
Yeah.
angry. If you plant a blueberry seed, you're going to get a blueberry bush. If you
Yeah.
plant an apple seed, you're going to get an apple tree. If you plant an impatient seed, guess what? Your doing is going to be impatience. And this is what is created. And this is really the deep work that I do. And I know you do the same. Is
Mm-hmm.
really to move people into really realizing that. Who are you being at the grocery store? Who are you being with your wife? Who are you being with your family? Who are you being with your mom and dad? That's a really big one because all those stories start to come up. And who are you being with your best friend? Who are you being with someone that you feel is annoying or that you don't like? Are you being judgmental? Guess what? Your doing will be judgmental. Are you being loving? Then you will do loving. It's really
Yeah.
that simple. It really is that simple. But yeah, like you say, it's so important to create and to really hone in on who you're being. Who am I being? Who would I need to be to do this? Who am I being now? And who do I need to be to do this? And that is the most powerful question. What would I love to
Mhm.
create? And who do I need to be to create that?
Yeah, and
Powerful.
when we talk about being,
Hmm.
it's very good to give this idea of people what is being, right? It's not like some
Yeah.
magical thing which just happens.
No, and it's so hard
It's
to describe. You can't
yeah,
really, it's a state. It's a state.
It is a state, but if you say it with simple words, Bradley, it's a state which is based on your thoughts and your emotions, right? That's the
100%.
state. Yeah, that's it. I mean, that makes it. When I say to people, oh, is
Pretty
that?
simple.
They say, is it that? Yeah, it is that. Your collective thoughts and emotions. This is your state right now in this very moment. And the good thing about this is you can change. You can work on your thoughts, which is going to change your emotions, which is going to change your state. Right?
Yeah.
When Tony Robbins talks about state, some people say being, some people say state. It is the same thing. And our
how are you showing up is another way I say it.
Yeah, how are you
showing up? How did you show up in that argument with your wife?
And when we talk about that, yesterday I had also session. Before that, in different sessions, I was talking to people one day. But I cannot do anything about it. It's not true that you cannot. You can. You can do it. You are doing it. You can do it every second, every minute. You can do that now, in this very moment.
Absolutely. What seed are you planting right now?
And the good thing about coaching, to come back to the topic, is that we are doing that in these conversations we have. We are co-creating with you guys the being you want to show up with in the world.
Absolutely.
That's what we do. And then you ask, but how is that going to help me in the world, in corporate, in my job, in my career, in my business? Well, you're going to show up like that there. You cannot show up with one being here, one being there. You're going to be the same. You're going to come up, if you create this being in you and you be consistent with it, it's going to show up everywhere in your life.
Yeah, like for example, like I'll share like a story of a client who was going to go to a job interview, right? And we spoke about it, and he was, I don't know. So who are you being right now? You're being uncertain, and you're being lack of confidence. So how do you think that interview is going to go? You're showing up as someone who basically feels they're not going to get the job. So we had some work to do. So we worked on his being. So he went in there feeling, okay, this is my job. I'm more than qualified. They will be lucky to have me. But it's not like come in like this. It's like, love, look at this person. They just want someone to hire. They're looking for the best person. Changing perspective. So you walk into there going, all right, here we go. And you show up powerfully. Like another client was in exams, was like, okay, I'm freaking out for exams. I don't think I know this stuff. Who are you being right now? Who are you being? When you go into your exam like that, you're going to forget, like things aren't going to show up. You're like, no matter how much you study. But then you sit back and you go, who am I being? Okay, I've done the work. I am this, I am that, I am. And you sit into your exam and you go, I am the universe. I am universal intelligence. I am prepared. Whatever it is. And then they sit there, calm, boom, aced it.
Yeah, absolutely,
aced it.
Bro. Yeah.
Because he controlled his state of being before he did his doing. Because you don't have to worry about the doing. That happens. It's going to happen with who you're being. He was being confident. He was being patient. He was being prepared.
Yeah,
that's what he was being.
When you are this being and you are trusting yourself, you are trusting. When I say, I had a question several days ago. We had a event when I was talking about love and the role of love in our personal and professional success. That was the idea of the topic, and I was leading the discussion there. And a woman just asked me, okay, she's super successful, and she also asked me, but why sometimes I don't love myself? It's so hard to love me. It's so hard, And the immediate answer which came to me is that you trust this part of you called inner critic too much in these moments. So you are believing it. You believe this part. And that's why you can't love yourself, because you believe to your inner critic. You could say it's like metaphorically said, people say different way. But if you want to love yourself and accept the love, you need to trust this part of yourself. You need to trust this being part of you that loves, that is pure love, that is pure connection, that is pure freedom. It sounds so easy, right? It's so simple. It's not easy, but it's very simple. But it's very simple. You can go from here to here. Yeah, you can. But you don't want, or you don't believe sometimes that you can. Because for so long time you believe in this other part, which actually makes you feel miserable and your being is miserable, as you said, you can get so many success outside in the world, but you are going to be miserable all your life if you don't start changing that.
Absolutely.
And in the moment you start doing that and realizing that there is way higher frequency you can create in your being, and then out of this being to create whatever you want in the world is going to become even automatic, kind of automatically to do that, in the world. So my what I she was like, yes, that's true. No, she was really agreed with me. But I wanted to give you this, guys, that being part is the part you need to really focus on. And when we talk about coaching, and when we have these conversations with you, and you ask, what is the tangible result? People ask that, what is the tangible result? What is exactly? We need to have a plan. We have to that and that. Yes, we have that. But also the most important is we have this work. And once you create this being in you, everything else, you're just gonna make it happen. It sounds like miracle sometimes, but it's happening like that, right?
Yeah. No, I love it. Thank you. I love that. And the question is, like, how do you create it? How do you access that? Like that lovely story that you shared, like, how does she access that? Like, we're creating whether we know it or not. So how do we get below the surface and get to those things that are running our lives, that script that continually runs, because we don't have access to it. When we're in our current state of being, we just don't have access to it. So what do we do as coaches? Well, what I'll do in my practice, and I know you do, I mean, meditation is a huge game changer, because you really, just by sitting with your thoughts and just being with it, allowing yourself to be with that, all those thoughts that you shared from your client, allows you, meditation will allow you to have a little space that will open up so that you can create something different in there, right? Right now it's like this. But the meditation consistently over time will start to create a space between stimulus and response, so you can create something different in that situation. And then through the work that I love to do, which is like a forgiveness practice, where we really go in and find out, okay, what are those beliefs? Let's go underneath. Let's go to that iceberg again. Let's start touching these things. Let's start pulling them out. Okay, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. Okay, forgive myself for judging myself as not worthy. Okay, what does that mean? Because we're judging ourselves all of the time. That's why we are in this cycle, and it keeps running our lives and we don't even know it, because we're just living on the top of the iceberg. We go back, forgive ourselves, and realize, oh, that's what we did. That's what I did with my coach, what you did with your coach. It's like, when you really forgive yourself, you're able to move that energy around, and then you can create a much stronger state of being. And it's more accessible to you, so that you can create. So what do people get? Everyone wants tangible results, right? I want a Mercedes. This is my Mercedes. I want a trip to Vegas. This is my trip. I want to go around the world, right? It's tangible. We can touch it, right? So what is the value? If you're showing up powerfully in every moment and walking through your life, creating miracles financially, personally, experientially, what is that worth? When you can literally go around with as they say over here, with a shit-eating grin on your face all day long, because you love yourself. And how do you love yourself? It's by this forgiveness practice that we do in our practice. That's a huge thing. When I've shared that with so many of my clients, people that have 100x their business, people that have saved their marriage, people that have reinvigorated their relationship with their children, what is the biggest thing they say? Okay, great, I got this money, I have everything else, but the most important thing I learned with you, Bradley, is that I now know how to love myself.
Absolutely, man.
What is that
100%.
worth? What is that worth? What is keeping you from having that? The only thing keeping it.
Charo just wrote a comment. I'm sorry that I stopped you, man, but thank you, Charo. Charo just said, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, great. The only thing stopping you from reaching that is you. That's it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So we had
Charo just wrote here. Thank you,
awesome.
brother. Love to see you both here, Dimi and Bradley.
Oh, awesome. Hey.
Thank you, bro.
Great.
So actually, absolutely. I just want, because You have maybe 3, 4 more minutes. So before we go, man, it's amazing. We're gonna do that again. I think you're gonna be the same page with me. Let's continue the conversation and talk more about it.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. If we
But
can
just
serve and help anybody, that's the
yeah,
whole goal. Anybody, just to move the energy around and share, perspective to oh no, there are other options out there for you, and you don't have to suffer in silence.
no, no. Let's do that together. And both of me, Bradley has his own practice. I have my own practice. We do things together. We just sometimes we have these conversations with him publicly. So just listen to that as well. We are gonna get some topics from time to time and untangle them with before you, so you can know more about it.
And if I can
Yeah.
suggest, if anyone
Yeah.
sees this, or if there's a replay and anyone has a question or anything at all, that would just be beautiful. Just share it, and Jimmy and I will go on and we'll talk about it, and maybe even do a whole live about it. Just like let's get a conversation going, and really, this is just beautiful. Love, beautiful, so good.
So just the last question before we go.
Yeah.
Shortly we can answer that.
Mhm.
Who is coaching for? Is there special people who are for coaching, in your opinion?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
It's for everyone.
Yeah.
It's for everyone. It really is. But more specifically, it's from my perspective, coaching really is for anyone who's willing to step into their greatness and willing to be committed to their greatness, to living the best life they possibly can live financially, like all of it. But it's for anyone who's willing and has that calling. Okay, there's more for me out there. Something's missing. Okay, who has that calling that there's more for me and I'm willing to step into my greatness. The willingness is the key.
Yeah.
Because if you come to a coach and figure, okay, I don't really know what this is. I'm not really invested. Like you talked about the money before. Sorry, I'm rambling a little bit, but these things would just come to me as we talk. And I was in a program once where, it was like $10,000 investment. And, that's a stretch for most people. And there was another gentleman on the course, and it just wasn't a stretch for him. He's making $70,000 a month. And the results he got were so muted compared to those who it was a stretch for.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So the commitment wasn't there. So really it's the willingness to be committed to your own growth, that has to be primary. That's who coaching is for. It really is for everyone. Because if I spend time with anyone, I'm going to shift their being, and they're going to become greater than what they are in that moment, because they're going to shift their state of being. But that's who it is for me. And I really, like when we have these calls, it's not about, okay, this is it, you're going to hire me. No, we're dancing with each other to see if it's a fit. Because if we're going to co-create magic, it has to be a fit on both sides. So
win-win.
Yeah, it's a win-win. It's not like you're going to say, okay, just because you reach out, then we're going to actually create a relationship. Not necessarily. There's a lot of things that have to align in order for it to be a powerful experience long-term.
Yeah.
But one thing I can guarantee, and I can promise that, anyone who shows up with the correct ears on in a coaching conversation, albeit a discovery conversation, a clarity call, or, after 2 years of working with the same coach, when you show up with the right ears, like it's not what you see, it's not what you look at, it's what you see when you look at it. It's who you being. That's how you will hear. When you show up with that, the coaching will completely change your life and will heighten your consciousness and your awareness. Sorry, it was a bit long-winded, but yeah, coaching is for everyone.
Absolutely.
But I just thought I wanted to take that opportunity to clarify that it's really, really important for people to understand that it's something you need to show up to committed. It's not like no one's coming to save you, right? Just come in, let's dance, and let's figure this out together and co-create the most magical life for you that is possible.
Yes, absolutely, man. That's a great ending. I just will add to that
please.
One thing which you need to go, guys, is that you're not gonna come ready for the coaching, but during the coaching conversations, you're gonna become ready to really create, not only in your life, in other people's, but just start co-creating with the coach. It's not like you're coming, I'm ready now. Now is the moment. It's like I'm ready to have children.
Yes.
I'm ready to get married. You're not ready for none of this, right? You just feel that this is the moment, and you just go with it, and then you become ready in the process. And one thing very important in coaching, the biggest problem I've seen in my career as a coach of people is that they don't trust themselves.
Yeah.
They don't trust themselves. And the biggest benefit you're going to get from coaching is to start trusting yourself. And you cannot understand once you start trusting yourself what you can create.
Yeah. And the first thing you will create is self-love.
Yeah. And that is going to help you with the trust.
Yeah. Right? When you learn, it's all one. It's all one. Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
You learn to self-love, to love yourself, which immediately creates more trust in you. You trust yourself. And when you trust yourself, there is no limit. And you cannot get that now because you haven't gone through the process. And that's the thing. You cannot make it rationally. You need to trust yourself, the coach, and the process. That's the three things you need to trust. And sometimes you need to have faith in them before you see the result there. So what we are saying here is we've seen so many beautiful transformations in the world working in these co-creating coaching conversations. If you just have feeling inside that this is something you're curious to do it, go with it.
That's all we need. That's all you need right now. And to your point, Dimi, it's like, when is the right time for coaching?
It's now.
Right now. Like right now. If you're curious at all, I just want to be very clear on that too. Reach out to someone that you feel you resonate with. A coach, you feel, okay, I like some of his social content. I really resonate with that. Reach out, have a conversation, see what that means for you.
Yeah.
Right? So when's the time? Just do it. Just do it now. I've had, goodness gracious, most of my clients have come to me out of curiosity. What is this? What is this? What does this mean for me? And by the end of the call, there's been so many insights that it was like, there was no question of whether they wanted coaching, because they're like, holy moly, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize I was this or that. And there's other times that we've had conversations. They're like, yeah, not now. Okay, that's good too.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine. Like there's zero pressure, I think, is what I really want to. This is just a conversation, just like you struck up at the grocery store with someone that was in line with you. Oh, great. Oh, you're from here. Do you know such and such a person? It's literally that. It's like, there's no pressure. Oh, curious. Oh, curious. I'm curious. Cool. It's the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
Yeah,
so, guys, thank you for listening. Whoever went through that.
I wish we had 6 more hours. Sorry.
We're gonna do that again. We commit to that with you.
We're just touching it. Absolutely.
We're gonna move forward next time. So, just if you have some questions, we are gonna have more conversations with Bradley. So, if you have some additional questions, just put them down, and we're gonna use them for the next time to answer them. And thank you, Bradley, for being here, brother.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you.
Love you, brother. This is beautiful. Awesome.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.